All right, we are back with another special edition for you. Our special guest is an acclaimed vocalist, songwriter, frontman, and much more. Please welcome John Bush.
What's up?
Look
How you
at
doing today?
this, man. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You keep on ticking.
Okay, I'll support that theory.
Well, from Armored Saint to Anthrax to we're talking category 7, and this is quite an amazing. They use the word super group and all that. Uh,
Yeah, not a
you
fan.
know, it is an all-star group, that's for sure. A lot of people wince at super group. What does that
Just
mean?
some wily veterans. How about that?
Yeah, yeah. Who conceived of this? Where were the germs that began this?
Well, that would probably be Mike and Phil, and I believe Jason. They probably concocted it over a few beers, and I think they were at like a rehearsal studio, but they were doing different things, and they all happened to be there. And I think they started coming up with some idea of jamming. And I don't remember exactly what it was, something along those lines. But um, yeah, they came up with some music. They sent me. Well, Phil asked me, "Would you like to be involved in this? Would you like to spend some time doing this?" And I said, "I don't know. Send me some music, and let me take a listen to it." And he did, and it sounded killer. And so I said to myself, "Okay, well, this is cool. What can I do with it?" And so I started working with it and tinkering around a little bit, and um, it sounded pretty good what I was coming up with. So I demoed some stuff and sent it back to them, and they were pretty stoked. And then we just kept doing the same thing. Send me a couple more ideas, and then send me a couple more. Next thing you know, we had enough for a record. And so what are we going to do? We're not going to just sit on it and kind of play it quietly for people hey, when you're drunk one night at your house, hey, let me play you something. You want to let the public hear it. Why not? So here it is.
So it started with those guys and then eventually ended up with you. Is that when Metal Blade got involved?
Yeah, I mean, labels were the label idea was longer into the whole thing, because we had to write the songs first, and really it was the once the songs were completed, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, sure, we should make a record. But yeah, there was a little urgency from some people, but again, at the end of the day, this thing happened kind of naturally, and that's it should be rushed because we're just writing songs, and it's not like people are anticipating it. Um, it's not a follow-up record; it's a brand new album. So there was, to me, it was more about having the songs be great, and then when it comes out, it does, because we all know everybody's busy with other things. So that's going to be the whole um, uh, the navigating that's going to take place with labels and management and agents, and how this is going to be worked out. The music part was actually probably the easier part.
Over how long of a period did it take to put the songs together?
I'd say about a year. I mean, I'm sure Mike and Phil had some ideas from years back, but once they actually started constructing songs and then sending them to me, I'd say it was about a year.
Okay. And what was the songwriting process like? Is it basically the two guitarists? Were they the main writers?
They come up with the riffs. I think, a lot of it was the two of them, and obviously they sent stuff to Jason and Jack, and there's some really cool ideas from the standpoint of having this, awesome drumming and just powerful music behind it. So that was kind of where it started with those guys, and it probably developed from there. Um, but yeah, I mean, Mike Orlando is a really talented guitar player and engineer. Um, he was the guy who actually mixed the record and engineered some of the demos that eventually became the record itself. And there's a lot of incredibly talented guys between Mike and Jason and Phil and Jack. There's a lot of killer musicianship between those guys.
Yeah, we know Phil a demo, of course, from Machine Head and Violence, and now he's with Kerry King's band. He seemed to be the go-to guy. I know he even filled in for Slayer at some emergency
Did, and also
point.
Lamb of God, and we worked together doing stuff with Metal Legions. So yeah, he's in demand. Phil's he needs to start cloning himself. Figure that out.
Yeah, he's like the Swiss Army knife, man. Break the glass if needed. He's there. He'll learn your set in like a day, you know?
Yeah, and that's a real awesome compliment from his peers because he's the kind of guy that everyone knows that if you bring him into the fold, he won't let you down. He's very reliable.
Yeah. Well, we know Adrenaline Mob, you know, Mike Orlando is definitely high energy, and they had already found Exodus bassist Jack Gibson and Jason Bittner from Overkill and Shadows Fall, or did any of these guys come in around the same time as you? Were you the
I
last?
think I think Jack might have been like him and I were one of the latter parts to join the fray,
Okay.
but Jason I think was already involved in it from the earlier stages. And Jason's an awesome drummer. You know, he's just he's the drums are out of control on this record, in a good way. So
Yeah,
he's really
I've
talented.
stood backstage at a festival where he was getting ready to go on, man, and his hand exercises and everything he was doing was pretty amazing. You know, you could tell
Yeah,
that it was very physical what he was about to
very.
encounter.
He's probably very exhausted, hence the tune after the set, I'm sure. So.
Wow. So now where was the record recorded? Was it done with everybody in their own places and in files, or how was it constructed?
I think the drums and the bass are actually recorded at Mike's studio in Staten Island. I think Phil maybe did a lot of his guitar parts at his home studio. Obviously, I did a lot of demos that were done at a friend of mine's apartment, where he has a Pro Tools setup, and we did a lot of the original vocals that we kept at his place. And then I went to Mike's studio in Staten Island. We kind of redid some stuff, added some stuff, you know, made things a little bit in tune if necessary, and just kind of added the final pieces of the vocals at his place, which was fun because that's when I got to know Mike because I really didn't know him. So you know, I went to his place and we recorded in his parents' incredible house in his basement there, which his studio is just awesome. And then we'd go out and have a beer and go, wow, that was fun, and got to know each other.
Well, of course, we've heard Stitches and a lot more songs coming. How many songs are on the album?
There's 10 songs on the record, one instrumental, 9 with vocals, 2 videos that have been released so far, Exhausted and In Stitches. A third one coming around the corner, I think in the beginning of July. We did 2 more in addition to that. So we did 5 actual videos. I won't, I'll let it surface before I talk about it because, you know, it's exciting when the new one comes up. But the 2 videos have generated a great buzz and the songs are awesome.
Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting stuff, and it enables you to dip into some different genres, so to speak, than what you're accustomed to in Armored Saint. Is that true?
Well, yeah, it's you know, it sounds different. I mean, it's metal, you know, and Armored Saint's metal, so it's within that, you know, the I say under the umbrella, but you know, certainly sounds a little bit more aggressive than what you normally get from Armored Saint. You know, Saint's a hard rock heavy metal band, and you know, Armored Saint can do anything. That's kind of where I'm at right now with sometimes when we talk about songwriting and
Yeah.
approaches to music, you know, I really kind of feel like we can do anything. You know, nothing would is out of bounds, should I say, which is great because it kind of just broadens our style. But you know, this one is a little bit more focused on grabbing you by the throat and tackling you onto the floor and beating you senseless.
Yeah, I know you've always said that you don't consider Armored Saint a thrash band. You know, those bands that came up around you were definitely a little different, more aggressive style. You guys were a little more traditional metal in a sense, had your own style and sound. And like you say, you can really do it all. And who knows the flavors we'll get on the next Armored Saint album. But, you know, this is crazy.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because then it's going to feel different. I mean, of course, the common denominator is my voice, and that's the thing that people hopefully will, yeah, I mean, hopefully it helps them to want to connect to it. And sometimes there's that like, well, it sounds like, well, yeah, because it's me singing. So of course there is going to be that same voice. I wish I could channel a bunch of different voices like Mike Patton does, and be able to have like 30 different characters on it, but you don't really get that for me. But we try to be creative with the mixing and different sounds, different styles within the parameters of what would be right for that song.
Yeah, and I know you get to be asked this, and what is the answer? Will there be any live shows? Because obviously you've just concluded a Armored Saint and Queensryche tour. You're always working on the next Armored Saint album. Will there be any special shows, or is it all within the videos and the music?
No, I think everybody would like to perform live because it just feels like that's the proper thing to do. It's something that I don't know when we're actually going to be doing some live performances yet. Soon, one day here. Obviously, I think that a lot of people would love to hear this stuff live. And I'm one of them. I don't know if it'd be a headlining show or doing some support slots. I think whatever feels right is the thing behind it. If it feels right to do, support, which it might be because we've only have 10 songs, so it might be a better scenario to go out and just pummel people for 45, 50 minutes in a support slot, depending who it is to open with or for. So again, we're going to have to evaluate that once ideas and opportunities come. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Let's let people kind of get into the music and figure it out before we start worrying about what we have to do. That should hopefully play itself out very easily.
Yeah, let's make it organic, and if there's a demand for it, then you'll address that at the
As
time.
it is.
There you go.